everyone. Welcome to Communication Research Methods Week 3. So happy that you're moving along in this course with me. The main thing that's happening this week is you're starting on your Leap 1 project. This is worth 10% of the course grade, 100 points. You're going to be finding an example of popular press coverage of social science research in communication and media. And apply your knowledge of research methods as you compare the journalistic account of the research to reading the original research. And you're going to really compare and contrast how popular press coverage of a specific piece of research represents the actual research itself. So, first, you're going to have to find a claim presented in popular press coverage of research. I gave you some examples here to think about. There's a research on the dark side of emojis, on dance challenge videos, on that show called 13 Reasons Why, and suicide. I picked some examples to give you a sense of the kind of journalism that addresses research topics in media and communication, but you'll find some really interesting stuff on your own, I'm sure. You'll have to summarize both the popular press coverage and the original study, reading it carefully and being able to describe it fully. And then you'll engage in a comparative analysis, making sure that you consider the checklist for success, how I'm going to be grading your work. You'll be submitting the work to this Padlet wall. You use this button right here to create a post, give it a catchy title. You can give it an image if you'd like, but you'll be sharing your work as a Google Doc with open editing. That means you're going to set the permissions so that anyone with the link can edit. That's how I'll be providing feedback and commenting on your work. That work is due in just 2 weeks, so you have a 2-week window to complete that first project-based learning. You're, of course, going to be continuing to deepen your ability to use concepts involved in analyzing the validity of research by reading Chapter 3 and taking the quiz. And I'm really thrilled to be able to introduce you to Notebook LM. It's a tool I've found very valuable in the practice of learning to read academic research. Notebook LM is a tool that can really help you to become a better reader of research. And it's got a lot of cool features. I'm going to invite you to experiment with it by taking one of the research articles that you explored maybe last week when you experimented with Google Scholar and the URI database, and then using it through a process of asking questions to see how it summarizes, right? And I want you to try asking a misleading or tricky question. I want you to see, how does Notebook LM handle uncertainty, right? Then upload a second source, maybe on a similar topic, and see what happens when Notebook LM is asked to compare and contrast, right? And then try some of the notebook tools. I'm especially fond of the podcast function, but you can try the video or the mind map or the reports. So I want you to play around with this really powerful generative AI tool and then write a little reflection about what you experienced. Then we'll go old school. So new school, generative AI for research reading. Old school, watch this short video about how to read an academic study. It's a great resource. Then choose one of these 2 studies. One study you can choose from is about research on video game streaming, right? And why people like to watch them. Or maybe you'll read the study about fitness influencers. Read one of these studies using the techniques described in this short video, and then answer these 2 questions. This week's learning really invites you to think about how media represent academic research. So I know you're going to enjoy this great video called How to Defend Yourself Against Misleading Statistics. It's going to help you make a connection to some of the concepts in Chapter 3. Listen, this is fun, and I know you're going to have a lot of fun with this week's learning. So have a great week.